Hello there. This is the Shawn1113 podcast show. I am your host, Shawn1113. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast, wherever you may be, however you're listening to, and whatever platform, and I mean anywhere and everywhere in the world. Today, it is the fifth anniversary of the Shawn1113 podcast show. I am absolutely blessed and feel very, very, very blessed and very incredibly fortunate to show to do this show in the first place. I think most of it, if I'm looking back right now, first of all, housekeeping, anything link in description, Shawn47k at gmail.com. It's business inquiries or anything or comments and stuff. Other and Spotify for creators as well. And so with that, hopefully more information will come soon with that. Excuse me. I just got home actually too. But I'll tell you, it all started on a whim. First of all, I'd like thank Spotify for creating something like a free podcast just like this, and many others as well. And there's so much. Like I said, I was in the pandemic era, and it just I felt. And one day, it was one night, um, 5 years ago today, on the 27th, before we even come to that. Um, I want to make this in advance. Happy Father's Day. And I know it's June 15th. Will be June 15th. Father's Day is coming up there then. Thank you for all the fathers, grandfathers, uncles, foster fathers, single fathers, brothers out there. Uncles, I'll probably mention that again. Uncles, stepfathers, step grandfathers, and the like. Happy Father's Day to each and every one of you in advance. Now we can talk about, like I said, it was in the pandemic era. One day I just did it out of a whim and just did it. And my first show was May 27, 2020. And I was bored. I wanted to do something. And and since then, for the most part, it's been a great outlet. It's been a great outlet to have my opinions, particularly about sports, maybe even politics or outside of that. Sometimes, I've been very fortunate on that. Like I said, I'm not the only one, and many others as well. But it's been absolutely amazing to do the Shawn1113 podcast show. On anything and everything. It's been a great outlet for me, and I'm sure you'll listen in the next 5 years. I was actually looking at. I mean, I don't want to bore you with a lot of stuff, but I looked at the audience geographical location. Hold on one second. Geographical location, and a lot of this. I'm telling you, anywhere, of course, most in the U.S. and Ireland, Germany, France, Puerto Rico, Ukraine, Iran, Russia, some of them like UK, Canada, Singapore, Hungary, Bangladesh, Latvia, Belgium, New Caledonia, Hungary, Slovenia, Sweden. Wow. So this podcast has been, even if it's very little audience, it's been all over the world. Um, of course, a lot of you have their devices like web browsers, Spotify for creators, Podcast Addict, Alexa, Google Podcast, which is no longer there, Spotify itself as well. I mean, and then various podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Cast, Podbean, Audacity. It goes on and on and on and on and on. And then the number one is episode 2 from 2020. So 2. Then episode 1 was the most download the podcast there. I'm looking at the whole. Oh, excuse me. Look at the whole thing. I'm sorry. I don't mean we were 24. I mean plays all the time. 2469. I'm sure there's more than that. 3 per episode. Audience size 2. I mean, just a lot. And of course, now it's on YouTube as well. It's been absolutely amazing to watch this thing grow by this thing grow more than I ever expect. And like I said, it was more than I ever expected when I started this podcast in 2020. And now it's the 5th anniversary of this podcast. I couldn't be any more fortunate to talk to you guys about everything, especially sports. Of course, the male population, a lot of people, of course, a lot of people 60 and over actually watching by a mile. I got some females, 4.4%. I hope I grow on that as well. Appreciate that. 45 to 59, 5.9%, 2.9%, 35 to 44. 7.4, nice surprise of 23 to 27. Definitely keep that up. And 28 to 34, 1.5%. But mainly it's a male dominated audience here. But I definitely appreciate the ladies out there, the 4.5% that listen to my podcast. So with that, that is the Shawn1113 podcast show. This is basically a summary of my 5th anniversary today. So thank you. But more importantly, thank you. I cannot thank you enough. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I don't even know what else to say other than the following. That is the Shawn1113 podcast show, entering its 6th year after May 27th, 2025. And I'm looking forward to that. And also taking a little bit of break as well. So with that, thank you so much for listening. And I will share this with Facebook and on X as well and on YouTube as well. So be on the lookout for that and every other platform in between. That is the Shawn1113 podcast show. And now I have said more than enough. Stay encouraged no matter what. And please live your life as normal as possible in an abnormal world. Thank you so much for listening to the Shawn1113 podcast show. God bless you.